Hello, and here we are just on the edge of the Tabernas Desert. Now, I think this is the only desert in Europe. I'm just getting myself ready here. I'm not on the bike yet. I don't know if you can see around, it looks pretty deserty. Now, this was used as, for sets for a lot of films, particularly the Italian-made what are known as spaghetti westerns. If you see, I don't know if you see that sign up on the hill there, and I'm outside a place called Oasis Mini Hollywood, which is western shows and a zoo and a restaurant and a swimming pool. You see it in there. There's a couple of theme parks here that were built from the sets left over from the filmmaking, and as well, I'll just get back on the bike here, and as well as the good, the bad and the ugly and such like. It's the trouble with the bike with all the luggage on it, if you have to park at funny angles. I'm trying to remember, right, I think this has actually been some of Star Wars has been, of the Star Wars series has been filmed here, and some bits of Game of Thrones. I've never actually seen an episode of Game of Thrones, so I can't help you with that. But it's only desert in Europe, and as you can see, it's not exactly the Sahara, and it's got a surface road going right across it. But I thought it was really interesting. I've never been to a desert before, so I want to see a desert. It was a good morning this morning. I rode for about 3 hours from where I was staying in Malaga. It was mostly on fast dual carriageway, but the countryside was interesting enough. There's plenty of mountains, and so one bit I went through very strange rock formations near a town which I forgot to note down or photograph. And then I started seeing signs for the Sierra Nevada mountains, or Sierra Nevada National Park, which I know, one of the weird things thinking of this part of the country, they actually have skiing in the winter in the Sierra Nevadas. So, if you know your spaghetti westerns like The Good, the Bad and the Ugly and A Fistful of Dollars, this is the area where they were filmed, because it was much cheaper for an Italian film company to film them here than go all the way out to the United States. I've always wanted to come because it's only desert in Europe and you may as well see it, and there's a couple of theme parks here, so I'm not bothered going to them, but it'd be interesting going past them. I was in a strange town just up the road, it's called like Gergal, I think it was called. And it wasn't half a strange place. It was very narrow roads, but people are driving two ways on them, and they're just bumping up curbs and not not hitting each other, and the people just seemed a bit strange. They were very shouty. I know a lot of Spaniards to us sound loud when they're having a conversation, but they were particularly shouty. I thought it was a fight going to break out at one point, but the people were just greeting their friends. Now, you probably can't see it. Over on the left I can see some remains of some old buildings. I don't know if you can see that. Well, I doubt they were part of a film, because they were too close to the road and there'd be too much noise and things like that. But this town, it also had quite a lot of people who I would describe as Middle Eastern, but they're probably North African, like women in traditional dress. So we're not far from Malaga. Is a port, and they sail to Morocco and possibly Algeria, Morocco anyway. And there's a thing. Oh, it's Fort Bravo down there. You can see the signs for it. I can see it. See if you can pull over. Not. They're probably not allowed to do this. I was stopped. I was another place I was stopping in Guardia Civil. Pulled over, and I pretended I was just adjusting the bike and rode away quickly before they realised I was stopping for a look at things. Right, I don't know if you can... I'll put it in stand. You can see down there. It's probably too far away to see, but it looks like a sort of stereotype cowboy town. So the Cinema Studios Fort Bravo live show with a cowboy. Texas, Hollywood. Yeah, Texas and Hollywood at the same place. Even I know they're thousands of miles apart. There's a Hollywood's version of Texas, except in Spain. Who knows? Anyway, that's a theme park of some sort. I don't know if you can pick it up. Up to the left here, there's some kind of castle on a hill, right on top of a big hill. It's also remarkably hot here. This must be 32, maybe even, it says about 32 in my wee thermometer, but really, really hot. That's another sign for Fort Bravo. Texas, Hollywood, that's a great frame, that. Cinema Studios. Maybe they're still used as studios, I don't know. But you can see it's a pretty barren bit of country here. And, so I just closed my visor there so I don't pick up so much wind noise. So Tabernas is the main town in the Tabernas Desert, understandably. So I might take a wee trip through Tabernas and see if there's anything. I also just saw a sign for something like Platformo Solar, and I wonder, I've passed some solar wind farms. No, that sounds stupid, I'll say that again. Solar farms for generating electricity, you know what I mean. And out here in the desert, this is the one place you're going to be able to get plenty of sunshine. I just glimpsed over the hill there, it's just disappeared. What looked like another castle, but one of the more square, later period castles. I don't know if you can pick that up so you can bend my camera. Yeah, it's just a nice wee. I'll pass through the town and see if there's anything unusual here. See if a big mural there on the wall, which could well be an advert for some product, I've got no idea. So these people basically live in the middle of it. The middle of Europe's best desert, only desert. You know, it's not quite Timbuktu, but never mind. Just a very typical Spanish town. I've driven through hundreds of these. With a Spar supermarket here. I remember once seeing a Spar supermarket in the Netherlands, so they must be fairly international. This is a street market on. There's some hot food. There is. You can smell the cooking is. You just see it casually ahead of the van just pulls out in front of the scooter. I mean, you get used to the driving style eventually. Okay, I'm probably going to have to turn back and go back up to the road and head back across the desert, but I just thought there might be something special here. They just tell me it's 700 metres or so, a roundabout to turn that. Yeah, so this is a fairly typical Spanish town. And at least there's people about. A lot of these smaller towns you go through, there's actually nobody. You never see him in the street. I'm just going to say the rider of that scooter was wearing, I've seen a few people wearing, mostly older men, but I was just a young boy. Instead of a proper crash helmet, they wear what looks like a brown velvet covered horse riding hat. Now, I have no idea as to whether that's legal here or not, but it seems to be a popular alternative to a conventional helmet. There you go, that's a fairly ordinary town. That's got one of these jet washes that I was using a while ago actually, because the bike's getting dirty again. Right, and this, if I've got the right road, this should just take me back out to the desert. In fact, I've gone to Sorbass, that's the place I want to go to. I don't know why my sat nav's sending me the other way. I looked at a map, and if I drive over to Sorbass, that takes me across the desert. I think what's happened is they've programmed in the next stop, and there might actually be a quicker way of going rather than crossing the desert, and it's wanting me to turn back. Okay, but as deserts go, it's not very deserty, but okay, I'll probably stop filming now. I'll just pull over so I can safely switch the camera off, and it's 24 kilometres to Sorbass, which is at the far side of the desert. Right, okay, I'll put the camera back on if I see something interesting.